All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone. I sincerely, as always, I hope this finds you well. And in addition to the other things that I'm committed to, I am committed to sharing with you what I learn. I am committed to giving you the best, newest, sexiest, most cutting edge insights that I have. And oftentimes those mean that I have to kind of kick what you currently believe in the teeth a little bit. It's nothing personal. I would never kick you in the teeth. Well, probably never. Who do we got here? We got Carol and we got Bob, Big Bob McDaniel. But the reason that it's sort of a kick in the teeth is because through no fault of your own, you're not engaging accurate thinking on many things a lot of the time. Now, why aren't you engaging accurate thinking? Well, for the most part, it's because you don't really have access to accurate thinking. Now, bear with me here. What I mean by that is you're doing the best you can. And by the way, guys, I'm specifically, mostly talking about how you approach your business, how you approach these things that you claim that you want to do, such as, and this is a biggie, making an impact, right? Rita, how are you? Lovely Rita Meter Maid. So, today I'm going to pick on making an impact. And I'm going to pick on it so that you can rethink things, so that you can have a new perspective. Because let's face it, everything comes down to your perspective. What you can accomplish, what you can do, what you can build in the world, in the physical world, is going to be largely determined by the amount of vision you have. And the amount of vision you have is going to be influenced directly by your perspective. So, with proper perspective, then, comes accurate thinking. And with accurate thinking come powerful results. Should we say that again? With proper perspective comes accurate thinking. And with accurate thinking comes powerful results. In other words, what's the analogy of the crabs in the barrel, right? You remember that one? If you've ever put crabs in a barrel, hey, Ryan, or seen crabs in a barrel, like it's a crazy phenomenon. One will try to climb out and the other ones will pull him back in, right? Why do they do that? Nobody knows. It's crazy. But the metaphor there obviously is that the masses, the crowd, has one way of thinking about being stuck in this barrel, and the one guy or girl who has a different thought just sort of gets sucked back in. In other words, they're a victim of lack of accurate thinking. Those crabs should get the hell out of there and get back into the ocean if they knew it was good for them, right? Anyway, when it comes to making an impact, I'm going to ask you guys a question. I know most of you want to make an impact. What does that mean to you? First piece of accurate thinking you're going to need is, what does it even mean to you to make an impact? You notice how we all say we want to make an impact. In fact, many of us, and I think personally this is a mistake in your thinking, many of us rate making an impact way above making income. Ooh, Manny, don't start talking about that money stuff again. See how I did that? I left you hanging. You knew I was going to start throwing some punches, but I took a long drink and built the silence. Built the, not the silence, what do you call that? The suspense. Here's the thing. If you think that in this day and age, you're ever going to make an impact without income commensurate to it, you are mistaken, or you're going to live the life of a martyr of some sort. And this assumes that you're, within the moral and ethical part of the sphere of people. Sure, you can make an impact if you're a black-souled bastard without a lot of money, but let's face it, if you're a black-souled bastard, you're going to want money anyway. My point is this, before I get too far, down the rabbit trail, just once and for all, get over the self-righteous virtue signaling horse shit about well, impact is more and service is more important to me than money. Guess what? They're connected. They're absolutely connected. They're inextricably connected. Okay, that's my little rant, my mini rant on that for today. Understand, money and impact are connected, okay? They just are. And so, what does it even mean to you to make an impact? And by the way, feel free to actually answer this and don't just sit there passively and think that I'm being rhetorical. I would love to hear, or read, I should say, what you think. In fact, I can't do it because I'm on my computer. I was going to say I would invite you on the screen to talk to me about it. My point is this. Impact and income are correlated. They are correlated. It takes money to reach people. Plain and simple. So, you all want to make an impact, of course, and I want to tell you there is absolutely 0.0000000% of anything wrong with being okay with letting that money come in while you're doing it, right? Money is equal to service, says Bob. It is. It is equal to service. Sort of. I don't know that the word equal is exactly the right word there, but I get your point, Bob. They just occupy space, with a relationship to each other. You can serve one person and not spend or make any money. Kirby says profit is what helps solve the world's problems. There is value in finding solutions to solving people's problems. That's closer to the center of the bullseye. Like Bob got the outer ring, the innermost outer ring there, the second ring out. Kirby, you hit the edge of the bullseye there. So you guys are on track. You're on target. But it's so as far as the money and impact piece goes, I just want you guys to be 100% okay with the idea of making money. And understand it's not going to turn you into a bad person. It's not going to corrupt you. It's not going to do any of the things that your mind might be telling you it's going to do unless you let it. Because money is not a malevolent force. It's not this evil force that we have to somehow, reconcile in our lives. That's a bunch of horse shit, man. So I digress. We're really wanting to talk here about making an impact. And by the way, generating money is part of it. But here's the thing. What does it mean, and I've asked this 3 times, to you? How do you define making an impact? How clearly, pristinely distilled are you in your understanding of what that means? You want to reach, seriously, check this out. If you could powerfully influence 1,000 people with some sort of, and I say impact, I mean positive impact, by the way. Let's just put that out there. A candle can light 1,000 candles without ever dimming its own light, right? So people have this idea. It's almost like we're conditioned. They come to the door of the nightclub that is the social media space, and the bouncer says, "What's the secret password?" And they go, "I want to make an impact." And the bouncer lets them in, right? There's no thought given to it. But think about it. Do you want to reach 1,000 people? And do you want to impact them with positive ideas so profoundly that each of them goes and then reaches 1,000 other people? Is that what you want to do? That would be impact, wouldn't it? 3 generations out, you have impacted 3 million people or 1 million people. What is it? 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 million. So 100 million people or 10 million, whatever it is. You get the point, right? You can impact 1,000 people who each impact 1,000, who each impact 1,000, and on and on and on it goes. That is possible. What is your, what do you want to do you want to make an impact by teaming up with Oprah to, I don't know, let's say, tackle homelessness, right? That would make an impact. So those are just two examples. And the point is that so few of us even understand what we really want to do to make an impact. And then every now and then you'll find those people, right? You'll find those people who are like, I'm on a mission to impact 1 million lives. Great. What the hell does that mean? How are you going to do it? So, and you know those people, go look through your friends list and you'll see those 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 people who have committed to impacting 1 million lives. They have no effing plan whatsoever. It just sounds cool to say. So here's the thing. If you look at the title of this live stream, that would be called Bringing a Knife to a Gunfight, right? That would be bringing a knife to a gunfight. So Bob says video. And I think once again, Bob, you are on the right track. Video is how you can reach your 1 million people, right? And potentially how you can impact them as well. But, and it's a good, powerful piece of the puzzle. But what I want to get you thinking about, or rather it's like the tires of your tractor are stuck in soft mud, right? And it's too deep and the tires are just sort of spinning when you just say things like, I want to make an impact. I'm here to make an impact. What I want you to understand is that your impact must connect to income. I mean, how do you think Mother Teresa gets all over the world? Shit costs money to fly her around, right? Yeah, her foundation, her charity work, it brings in untold millions of dollars. She's making a huge impact. She may not be living a lavish lifestyle. I don't know. She certainly deserves to, but that's not the point. The point is big impact has money attached to it. Okay, we got that? We good? Okay. So when you just post, when you're active on 1 or 2 platforms, when you don't have a distilled, focused, condensed message, you are bringing a knife to the gunfight of making that impact that you claim that you want to make. So how then do we start to make real impact? Well, we have to figure out first exactly what it means to us. It's not enough. Remember the nightclub and the bouncer analogy? It's not enough just to say you want to make impact, guys. It's just not enough. You've got to go deeper. Like, what do you really want to do? Now, somebody out there is going to turn this around on me and say, well, what do you really want to do, Manny? And I'll tell you honestly, I do desire to make what I would call impact. And the truth of the matter is, I don't know what my big vision is yet. And I'm perfectly comfortable with that. You know, I know what my skills are. I know what my areas of passion are. And I think I know what my gifts are. Does that make sense? And so here for me is what it is. Now check this out. Track this if you can. If it makes sense to you is what I mean. My skills are in communication and teaching. Those are my gifts. I am very good. So Kirby says, hey, Manny, how do you make an impact and connect it to income? Great question. Let's see if we can tackle that. Let me finish my thought here first, though. I am good at teaching people things. I'm great at communicating. I'm very empathic and I can feel into what people sort of need to hear in a given moment to hopefully push them over a hump into a new kind of aha moment. Like that's really something I'm good at. I sort of have like a servant's heart. Like I really love to help people, but I am not going to claim that I have a handle on my ultimate sort of mission yet. I don't. And for me, I say this to you at the tail end of a lot of soul searching and a lot of personal growth. I can tell you that I won't even have a true sense of it until I can bring my income up. Why? Why would I say that? You see everywhere, right? Everywhere you see people talking about their mission and their impact first, but never realizing that you're never going to hit those lofty goals without the money. And maybe this answers your question, Kirby. So here's the thing. If you're a great coach, if you're a great teacher, if you're developed in those areas, but you don't have your financial life developed, what it means is that you are out of balance. You are not in congruency with the different dimensions of your life. So what I'm saying here is that the financial dimension, there's any number of cultural narratives that keep us from addressing the financial dimension directly, but those cultural narratives ignore, overlook, or work in spite of the fact that the financial dimension is essential. You've got to, take care of your home, right? You've got to mind your, what's the analogy I'm looking for? Let me back up and start again. The point is this. We develop our minds, we develop our bodies, we develop our emotions, right? We know these things. We develop our ability to love our families. We develop our ability to think well. We develop all these abilities. These are dimensions of the human experience. To pretend that the financial dimension is to use ignorance now to buy discomfort later. Carol Rosenquist says, create massive wealth so you can make a massive impact. That's getting there too. So that's the right idea. Now, what is your impact that you want to make, Carol? And my argument here is that until I have more of an economic engine, a bigger, more robust economic engine behind me, I won't even see the possibilities the way I will after that economic engine fires up. Does that make sense? Yesterday I talked about this. I said, if you or I thinks about what to do for dinner, we think about whether to cook at home, what we'll cook, or maybe we'll go out to a restaurant, right? If Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or someone at that level of economic engine thinks about what to do for dinner, they may think about hopping on their private jet and going to their favorite restaurant in Italy. It's a different level of vision of what's possible that is supported by a different power of financial economic engine. You getting that? So let me say that in a more simple way. The more resources you have, the bigger your vision gets. And it's just inevitable. It's more than inevitable. The problem with a lot of us is we have a really big vision and nothing between it and where we are now. No plan, no game plan, no resources. We say we have resourcefulness, but most of us don't, right? Because most of us aren't doing anything except talking a good game. That's how you know. So you've got to do things in their proper order. And what I know is that I've developed my other dimensions, my spiritual, my physical, my emotional, my intellectual, my love life dimension. And now it's time for me to bring the economic dimension up because you cannot overlook it. You can, but again, if you overlook it, if you ignore it, if you downplay it, if you treat it like it's not important, you are paying now for insecurity and suffering in your future. Does that make sense? When I put it that way, would you ever do that willingly? Would you pay now to feel unsure and unsafe and economically threatened in the future? Do you see? But most of us don't have a long-term view. And so for me, again, all of this comes back to, here's my point. Here is my point. As my economic engine, as my financial dimension rises to equilibrium with the other parts of myself, which I have developed to a very high levels, I will see things differently than I do now. I will see the vistas that spread out in front of me will be grander, they'll be bigger, they'll be deeper than they are now. So I don't even know what my ultimate impact mission is. And I'm perfectly fine with saying that, because as I sit here now, with a certain level of economic power, I know that it's nothing compared to when I 100x that level of economic power. Does that make sense? I can't hop on a private jet right now. Bob, right, exactly. Right? I mean, I could, but it would cost me, it would be a stupid decision compared to the level of economics I'm at. Hopping on a private jet to, to fly to my favorite restaurant in Venice would be an asinine thing to do. Does that make sense? However, if I'm Elon Musk, it's an easy thing to do. It's no big deal at all. It doesn't even ding the realities of my finance, right? And so, once again, see, as your resources and your financial ability raise up, your vision of what's possible gets bigger. And so that's why I'm fine saying to you that I don't even know what my true impact goals are yet. I will, but I don't. And that's what I mean when I say most of us are bringing knives to a gunfight when we talk about the impact that we want to make. You're not even prepared. You can't even define it yet, but that's okay. And what I want to suggest to you and teach you and offer you in this live stream is there are a couple of things. One is understand that there's a direct correlation between money and impact, right? And the only way to circumvent that is to do something either shockingly heroic or shocking or to be a martyr, right? I mean, you can make a terrible impact like mass shooters do, but that's not you. That's not me. You're not going to strap a bomb to your chest and walk to the center of the market, right? We don't. So let's just remove all of that stuff, those ideas about like money doesn't, have anything to do with impact. Let's get those out of our minds once and for all. Okay. Next, if you really want to make an impact, you must define it as micro, granularly as possible. Otherwise, you're not aiming for anything. You think you are, but you're not. Saying the words, I want to make a huge impact, feels really good, but it means absolutely nothing until you can say to me clearly, without stuttering, without over-explaining what that impact is. Do you want to be like Pencils of Promise? Now that's impact, right? That guy goes and builds schools all over third world countries. I feel like his name is Rick Braun. Anyway, whatever, right? Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much, my friend. He knows exactly what his impact level is going to be, or his impact mission is, building schools in third world countries. Right? Until you know what that is, you're never going to make that impact. So stop fucking bringing a knife to a gunfight and get serious. Get serious about your earning. Get serious about thinking of new ways to bring in more money and then dial in that mission. Don't tell me you've got a mission. Tell me exactly what that mission is and get serious about leveraging more powerful ways to make the money that's going to allow you to create that mission. Sound good? Does that make sense? Are you feeling that? Okay, for those of you that were here, you now get to charge out through the rest of your day feeling fired up because now you know. Now you know. Now you have the inside track that most of them don't have. You don't have to have all the answers today, but you now have a new way to think about the problems. Make sense? All right. Go forth and kick ass, my friends.